Okay, so we have uppercase e, lowercase e, uppercase r a couple of times, and then a lowercase r, and we're solving for r again. So we need to solve for uppercase r. Well, okay. Forget about that. Just think about when you solve a rational equation, the first thing you usually want to do is clear the denominators, right? What would be a simple way of accomplishing that here, since you have a single fraction on both sides? Cross multiplication works great when you have a single fraction on both sides. Let's do that. So we cross multiply, and we'll get e times r, or maybe since they're in capital letters, Right? Okay, and then we're going to multiply the e times the quantity r, uppercase r, times lowercase r. So let me just write that down. Little e times the quantity big R plus little r. Does everybody see that? Everybody okay with that? So here's the problem. We've got two occurrences of the specified variable, the variable we're solving for. We've got a uppercase R on the left side, uppercase R on the right side. And so you might think, oh, just on the left side, divide both sides by E, and then you have R, right? But the problem is you got R in the answer then if you do it that way. So you can't do it that way. So the technique is to get everything with the variable that you're solving for on one side of the equation. Everything else on the other. So we got to get everything with capital R in it, because that's the one we're solving for, on one side of the equation. But capital R is stuck inside the parentheses, right? So that's the first thing we need to do before we get everything with capital R on the same side. We need to free up that R from the parentheses. So what do? Distribute. So the left-hand side is staying the same. The right-hand side becomes what? E times R. I guess you would say plus Okay, I know. It's a lame joke, but it's all I got. So plus little e times little r, right? Distribute? Okay. On the right side, how is little e times big R connected to, what operation connects little e times big R to little e times little r? What operation connects those? Addition. So how could I get, say, the thing with R in it on the other side of the equation? How could I disconnect the addition? Subtraction. I'm going to subtract e times r from both sides. Now, I don't really want to line these up because they're not like terms, right? Because that little e is different than the big E. So don't line them up when they're not like terms. So that means, does everybody see why I did that? Okay, so that means I'm going to write the big E times big R first, and then subtract off the little e times big R. That's the left side. What's left on the right side? So we're subtracting right there. Just R. Okay, that was the hard part. Now this looks a lot like the last problem. How can I get a single R on one side of the equation? Factor out. Now I'm talking big R, right? So factor out the R. What's left? Big E minus little e. No, it doesn't. That's the dark side, right? Avoid that. So R, capital R on the left side is connected to the quantity E minus E by what operation? Multiplication. How do we get it to the other side? Divide. We reverse that operation by division. We balance it out by dividing both sides by the same thing. That's balance principle. So we've got it. Look, these guys, as quantities, these guys cancel, and we're left with, okay, R by itself equals E times R, little e times little r over big E minus little e. Whew, okay, that's weird. Any questions on that? And here are some guidelines for solving a formula for a specified variable. Note that the following steps are only applied if necessary. They're not all always necessary, these steps. So number one, clear the denominators by multiplying through by the LCD. Now in the last example, we actually cross-multiplied, but multiplying through by the LCD would have worked too. And that's number one. Number two, distribute to get rid of parentheses. You saw that in the last example, didn't you? Number three, get every term with the specified variable on one, the specified variable is the variable you're solving for, on one side of the equal sign, and then everything else in the other. You saw that in the last example, didn't you? That's number three. Number four, factored out the specified variable. You saw that in the last two examples. And number five, multiply or divide as needed in order to solve for the specified variable. Some steps to help you out when solving these things.